And good evening and welcome to episode 11 of Endless Banter. We have the main man himself back this week. He was away last week, so we filled him in with Riyadh, which was an absolute mental show. I don't know if you watched that back, Paul, but Riyadh is an absolute joker.
I actually haven't.
It's worth the watch back just for him being an idiot. It really is. So, welcome back, Paul. Welcome to everybody in chat. I didn't think there'd be many of you because it is a beautiful night outside, and I thought everybody would be outside doing barbecues. So, welcome to episode 11. Paul, what have you had for tea? What are you drinking? And how's your week been so far?
I had pork chops, salad, and a baked potato. I'm drinking fuck all because I'm just completely disorganised tonight, and my week's been fucking wonderful.
Did you want to come back from being on holiday? Because I expect you had an awesome time.
It was nice. The weather was a bit shit, but it is what it is. Why the fucking hell is my top cap now into that camera?
Did you say it's what? You said it was a shithole?
Nah. Did you see that?
What's going on there?
Well, this is the lid off that candle. I've put my fucking top cap on that before it was melted. And Tasha's lit the light and melted my fucking dirty top cap into the
Oops. No, what did you say? Did you say it was a shithole? Please don't tell me you said it was a shithole.
Nah, it's the weather was just shit. But the swimming pool was there, and we went down the arcades and done seaside shit. We didn't do as much as we normally do, to be fair.
Yeah, but let's be realistic. In them sort of situations, it's about spending time with family, regardless if you sat in a caravan or a 5-star hotel. As long as the family's around you, it's fun, isn't it?
No, it was all right.
I saw you on the 2p machines, enjoying yourself on the 2p machines. What were this about? How much did you spend to get some slime 60 quid?
I don't even know how much we changed into 2 pences, man. Disgusting amounts of money.
Yeah, I saw that. Have we got any news on Land Rover this week?
It's going in on Tuesday next week.
Oh, so this is going to be the final time we hope. No, we're going to get another update next week. It's all about the 2p machines. I do actually quite enjoy the 2p machines when I go to the arcades. I'm not going to lie. I've never been to the seaside yet with Poppy, so I know we're going away in July or something like that for a couple of days. So I'm hopefully going to be able to take her to. Hey, Tash! How did you enjoy the holiday?
Yeah, it's good.
Did you enjoy melting Paul's top cap again?
Oh, it's only the top bit. It's only the IFC, isn't it? It's only the IFC.
What? That's the only bit that's melted on.
Yeah, it's because he changed it for the Bessie one, the glittery one. Yeah.
Yeah.
He changed it for that one, so it's only that bit. But it's his own fault for not putting stuff away. Oh.
Adele said, "Yo, homie." Oh, by the way, the video you put up of Emmy on her new little roundabout toy is absolutely amazing. It melts hearts out, like when she's just smiling and giggling. That's all. I saw it and I was like, that proper melts hearts. That I loved it.
Best toy ever, that is.
I thought, is that gonna go? And then you started calling and she started going, oh, that yeah. I loved it. I'm like,
goes faster today. She just whizzing round on it.
Just wait till she starts spinning it all around.
She'll be crawling soon, causing havoc.
How old is she now?
7 months.
Wow.
No, it's time for another one.
What?
Down here, laughing in a toy box.
Oh, wow. So how's your week been? What have you had for tea and what are you drinking?
I had the same.
You're the same.
I'm drinking nothing and I'm vaping on Paul's ale. I've just got sat in his chair because I started building the toy box and I can't do it. What? So Paul's just finishing it off.
What I like to hear. Should we do some subjects with you this week, Tash?
No?
Come on, should we get you in this week? I reckon we should get you in this week. Talk to you about some stuff this week. What do you think, Paul? Should you get Tash on it?
You're the fucking director, you told me.
Alright, let's get Tash on it then. And Tash knows just as much as Paul and me anyway, so it's not like I don't know. Well, my first subject is Tash. Can you remember when there was a massive hype on ultrasonic cleaners and everybody was purchasing ultrasonic cleaners? Do you think that was a massive fad at the time, or do you think people just don't know what they are anymore and they don't get spoke about? What do you think of ultrasonic cleaners?
I think if it worked, people would have carried on promoting them and buying them, and so it clearly didn't work, did it? But saying that, I don't think as many people make juice as they did. I think they've started again now since TBD.
Because people used to use them for obviously cleaning your mods and stuff like that, and people use them for mixing juice, didn't they? Because I remember when putting them in hot water, putting them in ultrasonic, and the whole thing of it would steep it. I've not seen them available, like, because there used to be people used to buy them from like Aldi and stuff and Argos and stuff like that. But I've never seen them.
Everyone used to post everywhere, didn't they?
Get this ultrasonic cleaner, you're only 15 quid. Go grab one, go grab one. But I was thinking today, and I'm thinking, what is there what we used to do that it's not known or not commonly used anymore? And ultrasonic just went bam straight in my head, and I just thought people don't use them to clean or anything anymore. Like unless they've got the jigs and stuff. We've got the jigs. All Cape Clods. You've got all these different materials to use to clean mods. That sort of went out the window for some reason. Because when I first started cleaning mods, I was using tomato ketchup and vinegar.
I've seen a lot of tomato ketchup thing lately. That seems to be a big thing. But I've seen at Vape Jam, who makes that? Is it Core Master?
Cool.
Not Core. Who made the spinning machine for your bottles?
Oh,
they've actually made like a mixing thing.
No, it's just like a wheel.
Is that a wheel? It's magnetic.
Well, it's a magnetic. Paul just told me it's magnetic. And you put you obviously put your nick shot in. You put your bottle on, and it spins your bottle.
No way.
You spin the bottle. It actually causes a vortex in the bottle.
It causes a vortex in the bottle. Sorry.
So it's meant to give sort of like more of a mixing rather than just sat there shaking it. And who mixed it? Nightcore.
Nightcore, yeah. They were all over Vape Jam.
What did they call it? The Nightcore bottle shaker or something? What was the name for it?
It's a mixer. Search Nightcore mixer. You'll find it.
Paul said,
I found it. Yeah, I found it. Oh, I don't think they're actually made, predominantly by Nightcore. I think they're rebranded stuff. Because I'm sure I've seen something like this before. Because you could actually put like a glass mixer on top, and you could put your actual e-liquid in it, and then it would mix it as well inside the glass container. But obviously, Nightcore worked a way out where you can whack your bottle on top of it. Oh, because I've actually got a video of him doing it in a container and doing it in your bottle as well.
We seen one with the glass beaker and one with the bottle on it, didn't they?
It does look cool. I'm not going to deny it does look cool, but does it actually work? Where's the science behind it? Does that actually work? Is it a fad?
I've jumped onto the Vape band of people who buy anything that looks cool.
It was made for DIY mixers. Yeah, definitely made for DIY mixers, but if it has a benefit to it, then you could actually have it as putting your nick shot in and then mixing your bottle with that. If it actually has any benefits, I don't see why it wouldn't, because it is shaking it. It's just mixing it together. I don't think it would steep it like we probably thought way back when, but it probably does actually mix the juice and give it, mixing the nicotine with the short fill. I'd like to know how it works.
We'll have to investigate more.
I'm just watching a video on it now. If anybody can see.
So what have they got there? A glass beaker, a bottle. What's the third? Oh, just a bottle standing up.
Just a bottle standing up, yeah. And obviously you can see the vortex inside the beaker, but obviously they lay the bottle down so the bottle's actually spinning. So technically, I don't know if the bottle's actually mixing if it's spinning, but obviously the vortex inside the beaker, I don't know if that would work better.
How does it work, Tom? Is it magnetic or is it?
Yeah, it's magnetic. It's a magnetic field.
Magnetic.
Yeah, and literally the bottle's just spinning on top of the magnetic field, but it does have sort of where you can change it so it can be fast as anything. But I can imagine bottles flying and hitting kids in forehead.
Yeah. Wrong.
You can imagine complaints on Facebook. I bought this Nightcore mixer and my 4-year-old now has a black eye because it flung off.
We'll be in hyper again.
I'm telling you, people are making up complaints and all sorts already.
That's a new thing for mixing instead of the sonic cleaner. And obviously we've got new ways of cleaning mods, so maybe the sonic cleaner's done.
Yeah, I definitely think it's something overlooked. I know for a fact there's still a lot of coil builders who actually use the ultrasonic cleaner to clean their coils.
Okay.
You know, to get sort of maybe crud or stuff they've had on the hands while they've been building and stuff like that to clean. Because I don't think there is really any other way apart from a wire brush to clean them quite quickly. So an ultrasonic would probably take the rubbish off the coils. Because I have seen some people, and they say obviously it's like Instagram pictures, and it's people with like builds inside the mechs, and they've got like soapy bubbles on them where they've obviously washed the coils. But then they say, you know, don't vape it because obviously it's now got soap on the coil and stuff like that.
Is that how they get the different colours in the wire?
No, the different colours in the wires from the anodization. So when they heat it, the wire sort of anodized to different colours.
It'd make a difference to broaden.
I don't think the colours makes a difference to the build. I think it's just once again a pretty thing, isn't it? It's just, you know, people like the look of it on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that, and it sort of, you know, gives that finesse of a good looking coil. But I think the other ways to do it is like you polish. So I don't know if you remember sort of how much of it. I don't know if it were in for about a couple of months, but people were polishing the coils. You could literally see your face in the coils and that. So I don't know if that's the way they've done it that way on sort of polishing the coils. But obviously, once you've polished the coil, it's absolutely worthless because you've obviously put something like Brasso or whatever on the coils to make them shine.
But then I don't clean my mods, so. Oh no, takes it off me, guys. I'll fucking clean that.
You know, we've seen it since we've all started vaping. We've seen the sort of fads and stuff that's gone through, and sort of we can look back and say, well, that was a thing back then. It's sort of being left out at the moment in time, and sort of because let's be realistic, there is that cycle where stuff does come back in.
Yeah, definitely. Vape bags used to be a big thing, and I never see anyone really with a vape bag anymore. At Jam, I think I've seen 2 people with the proper vape bags, and vape bags used to be a thing.
Even the gorilla straps, they used to be a massive thing, and you don't see anybody wearing them anymore.
I never liked them.
You bought a few wankers with gorilla straps on.
No comment. No, because them gorilla straps, they're like 90 quid. Like a bit of leather.
No, Simone wanted one. Seen someone at Expo, she wanted one. And when I told her the price, she was like, "No, I'm good."
I think they were like the branded actually gorilla straps were like 80, 90 quid.
Yeah. There was people at Jam selling them, wasn't there? I don't know how much there was.
Fucking endless monkey strap.
Well, we didn't actually speak about doing them straps a long while ago, Paul. I was like, let's just put an endless logo on it.
You can go on anything.
Because it is just realistically, it's 90 quid for some leather, isn't it? That's realistic. Yeah. It's holding 2 bottles or a mod, and that's literally it. So it's not, you know, it goes back to the thing of where something of that price is down to the individual. People will sit there and go, 80 quid, 90 quid for a pair of leather straps is ridiculous. But then other people will say, well,
It depends what you want to use. The 2+ bags were quite expensive to buy, weren't they?
Well, which ones the ones that you had? Was it the UD bags with all the compartments?
But the 2 puffs bags, the same. Like that's a rucksack. The UD one. The 2 puffs was a cross bag.
Or like a bum bag sort of thing.
Cross shoulder.
It's called a cross shoulder.
Oh, man bag.
Yeah.
Man bag. I can't see Paul walking around Expo with a fucking man bag on.
Paul's got a 2 cups bag.
I've never seen him rock it though.
I've rocked mine a few times.
You want mads? I've got 60 mads to carry around.
Here we go.
Brett Clark, just borrow the missus' bra and stick the mod in them. Good point.
It is. But I mean, them gorilla straps, they only come from. What do they use? What do people wear them for? Other than mods?
Fucking guns.
Guns.
Guns, like gun, yeah, they're like gun straps, aren't they? Yeah. But they're all a lot of people wouldn't realistically know that, would they? Like, you wouldn't think that that's what it's for, but it is a gun strap, but necessarily isn't it? Just more sort of a pouch on each side for your mod and your juice.
Yeah.
I think some people pull them off really well, and I think some other people look absolute plums in them, but
Exactly.
but it's just what it is, isn't it?
One I thought, but
It's fads, though, isn't it? Going back to saying fads, there's fads in everything that we enjoy, you know, especially vaping. People bring stuff out that's, you know, will either run for a lifetime or will be a fad and people will absolutely go crazy for it.
the car, I like the car. What's that called? Easy Dripper. That might be a fad, but I like that.
Easy drippers were really cool, and I think.
I've still got one, and I've got the one that goes around your neck. That's cool.
Oh yeah. With a little, you could put the bottle into like the holder, couldn't you?
Yeah, I've still got a couple of them.
But you could not get them for love or money apart from at the shows.
No, we got it in the Vape Expo, didn't we?
Yeah, weren't they really expensive?
I bought one.
What's
Them, the Easy Drippers that go around your neck.
The only problem I saw with them is even if you had sort of maybe an acidic or like a custody juice, once you'd had that juice in it, you couldn't put another one in that bottle. And then bottles were like £8 a piece.
Oh, I could still wash them.
Yeah, if you had proper acidic, that would leak into the plastic. Like if you had a proper like zesty juice, it would sort of leach into the plastics, and you would always smell that. Like menthol, you could never reuse a menthol bottle because it's always got that menthol taste in it.
I suppose I only have custard, so
Yeah. So that sort of dessert is quite easy to pull away from plastics, but the Easy Drippers were brilliant, and they did work for a long time. But then once again, they like faded out, didn't they? Because they did really well at that expo. You know, people were on about getting them in the shops and stuff, and then as soon as they told you the price, it was like, yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, we had them in the
That's
shop.
ridiculous.
I bought a few of them. The Easy Drippers.
Some people I think you had some, and some other people had some, but I only believe there was only like, because they only let you take a few or something like that.
Well, we had them. Yeah, we had them after we didn't buy
I got
them.
them through somewhere else.
Yeah.
I think someone had stole something. So.
We don't stock stolen goods.
What's this saying? Brett saying vinegar water, then swirl. Yeah, and I agree that you've got certain things that will clean it out, but then that's going on the fact is that soap and water and then a bottle should literally just be that to clean it out, put another juice in and not taste it. But obviously with plastics, it's going to take it in. So I get what you're saying, Brett. It's just the fact is that you're paying £8 for a bottle. I don't really want to be sitting it there for 3 days with vinegar in it, risking it melting.
It was £8 for the bottle and then £5 for the nick.
Yeah. And then it was something like £25 for the car.
The car was.
They weren't cheap, but they were good.
I took the one out of my car. I don't know where it is actually. I should put it back in the car.
I always do that. I always talk about stuff like this and then think, where have I put stuff? Because I would love to use it again.
Yeah, but I squonk now if I draw, so it's not so bad.
It's the ease of that, isn't it? Because squonking, once again, squonking wasn't that big back then, was it? So necessarily they could have thought of something to do with that. Tom, you're just awkward. Of course I'm awkward. That's about going saying, you know what I mean? Right. I've got another one then for you, Tash, another subject.
Be nice.
Oh, I'm always nice. And you can do this and agree with this, and you probably got a really good perspective on it. Paul as well. The cycle of vaping. So we started mouth to lung, went to suburban, and there's a massive influx in people going back to mouth to lung at the minute, and it has been for 8 months, 10 months. Why do you think people are moving back to mouth to lung? What's the whole reason behind it? Do you think?
I was having a think. I've gone back to mouth to lung. I've started using an AO Pro again. I still use my Squonk more than the AO Pro.
Yeah. Do you think it's due to we've done the days of you going through 100 ml juice a day?
100 ml of juice a day and thousands of pounds on mods. I think people are just bored of it. And there's not that many different brands bringing out new products all the time either. So you're sort of limited what mod you can buy.
Yeah.
Which is why I think a lot of people like Endless, because we're always doing something different. There's not that many people always doing something different. They're sort of, that's our mod now, and that's it.
Yeah, definitely I agree with that, because it's sort of like people have slowed down, not to a halt, but they've slowed down to a fact where they've done what they've done and that's them.
Well, I suppose for them it works, and they sold them, and so they're happy with that. But I think there's always new ways, and I don't know.
Yeah, but you was running the shop. No, like Smock are releasing new stuff every week. All the higher sort of Chinese brands, big Chinese brands, are still releasing stuff every week, every other week,
Yeah,
and they're still sort of pushing. They're pushing new products, and sort of. Do you think they've got sort of an inkling into where people are going with vaping because of the products they're releasing?
I mean, it's not releasing new suburban kits, but I think we've sort of had the people that have done the let's buy a new tank every week because that's the next best thing.
Mm.
We've still got a couple of people that, we get new people that still work their way from mouth to lung, go to suburban, go back to mouth to lung. But then I think the mouth to lung mods are a lot better than they ever was as well.
Oh, definitely. Do you think there isn't a massive influx in mouth to lung in? Do you think people are just going back because they are sort of sick of what they've been doing and sort of, without sounding cliche, it's like going to something new in it without when you've already done it. You know what I mean? You've done sort of suburban for 2, 3, 4 years, and then it's sort of that fresh life of vaping because you're doing something totally different to what you've been doing that whole time.
Then people now pick up a mouth to lung kit and go, that's not half bad. I actually really enjoy vaping a 6 milligram or a 12 milligram or.
Yeah, I think people sort of don't realise that their body's actually used to that much nicotine because they are vaping constantly all day long. And when they go back to that 12 milligram, I don't think people slow down, but it sort of gives them more of a regulated vape, as in they're using the vape less, and they're using it for the nicotine to get the nicotine take. I'll be honest, I could sit here for hours and hours and hours and just vape because it's in my hand.
Oh, yeah, habit, isn't it? But I do think as well, they're just easier. Put your liquid in, put your coil in, done.
Is it going back to sort of the ease of things? Because obviously I like to use my mech when I want really good flavour and I want to have a little bit of fun blowing clouds. That's predominantly what there's people out there that use mechs, and especially endless. They use endless mods all day long, and that's what they use as a vape. But a sort of more of the, I'm not going to say advanced vapors, but people have been doing it for a longer time. Use different devices for different reasons.
Yeah.
You pick up your mouth to lung when you want that nicotine hit. You want that. You want to feel like you're actually having a vape. You're getting that scratch in the back of the throat. You're getting a kick. It's simulating the same as a cigarette. Like I've said this, and I've said it plenty of times. If I didn't have a vape, I'd happily pick up a fag tomorrow. You know what I mean? That's the honest truth of it.
Yeah, because it's doing that. I mean, Paul won't leave home without an AO. He'll leave anything else, but not his AO. If he hasn't got his AO, he's lost. So
that's it. And you can go for days and days, because I get that sort of. different mindset where I'll go for like a month and I'll just use a mech, constantly use my mech, and then I'll go and then I'll hit them like I'll try a mouth to lung, and then I'll be using the mouth to lung all the time, and then I'll go back to a mech. It sort of fluctuates between what device I'm using, where not how I'm feeling, but sort of at that time I'm like, oh, this is fresh. Let's try this.
The closest. If I've left my squonk upstairs and put my mouth to lungs downstairs and I'm downstairs, I'm using the mouth to lung. When I go up to bed, I'm using my squonk because that's what. If I'm vaping.
No, I agree 100%, and I just feel like that cycle is always going to be there. Like we used to have that massive cycle of sort of regulated to mech, then mech to regulated, and that used to be sort of like a 6-month cycle. And you've always obviously got your hardcore users that use regulated and use mech. Will constantly use that one device or that sort of style of device, but it's sort of there's that much out there these days. You've got so much to try. Like somebody said in the chat, the pod systems. I've not tried these Mi One pods, but then obviously the newest craze.
Yeah,
but the reason they're the newest craze is they are a pod system, but you can refill the pod. That is only the hype behind it. Is because you can refill it.
But is the battery life any good?
Probably not. It's tiny. So.
I always said to Paul that jam that actually looked really cool. The first thing he said was, I know it wouldn't last me all day. And I says, probably wouldn't. So that does. So
yeah, exactly.
Having me I've got one. So again, it's another height.
That's exactly it. That is just something that's there that everybody's using because it's this cool little dinky design, different design device, and it looks different and it's new. It's the fresh thing. Give it
all over jam with them with all different
950 mAh battery on a Mi pod. Yeah, that's gonna last me about an hour and a half. Realistically, that's not gonna last you any time whatsoever. The only way you're actually gonna be able to use that device and use it correctly is Nick Salt, and Nick Salt's is gonna have to be higher than a 20 milligram because I know for a fact even with a 20 milligram, it's still not gonna be enough.
So really, people are just going to wear it around their necks to walk around.
Yeah, because it's got this chain with it and it's all bling bling in it and all that. It's just the new cool hip thing that everyone's sort of rocking.
I've got one, but this because my battery's dead.
It won't last me. Would be okay for a drive to work. That's exactly it, Paul. It'd be all right for a drive to work. 20, 30 minutes in car, that's it. Something you've just got on the side where you're desperate.
Going to work, you don't go anywhere.
Not for me. Not for me.
Right.
What's this? For me, I have a cleaner stack all day at work and a single battery squonk that I made on a night when I'm in the house. I'm on my nails on my series Mayhem mod. That's the thing. It's Neil is saying here. He obviously uses different things for different reasons and different times. But what was it? Pro Green was wearing one at Vape Jam around his neck. Oh my God, that's another ambassador of that sort of cool
That's all I want.
hip sort of thing. And that is a selling point. It is because everybody's got it. Everyone has to have one.
He's not loving Pro Green.
Who, Paul?
He said he's a prat.
Well, we did discuss last week with Rick about him being there and sort of ambassading sort of vaping. Obviously, it's not his sort of, as we said last week, sort of, it's not his job to sort of say, oh, vaping this, vaping that, vaping the other. Obviously, he stepped into a market as a businessman. If he is a vapor, salute to him. If he's not, he's not. But he's got that sort of clout where he should be shouting vaping's good for you and whatnot, and he should be more of an ambassador because of the following and the clout he has. He should be using his powers to sort of give that good luck to vaping. Even though his fan base is usually probably 8 to 12 years old. We can't really be going on Twitter talking about vaping is good and
yeah,
little Sarah's mum saying, why is Pro Green talking about vaping?
Yeah.
But yet again, he caused the hype and caused talking about the event.
Yeah.
But I didn't get any feedback from you guys last week, so obviously he was away. But obviously I spoke to Rick and he said he was in the event for about 2.5 hours. That was about it for the whole weekend. let's just cover on about you guys. What did you guys think of the actual event?
We could have been at the park and people that we like.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it for that, Tom.
We went and we spoke to people we don't normally see or don't see very often or at the event. So we went round and we spoke to Dexter and we seen Dale and Lindsay, and Ben and Rick. We seen Ben from Six Leagues.
Leon from Prohibition.
Mark
at Suicide.
You guys obviously go for the total different reasons to anyone would go.
Tom, I spent £60. So that's how good the event was.
So you personally, because when you go to these events and you're not vending them, you go as a consumer. Regardless if you work in the industry, own a company or whatnot, you're going as a consumer.
I'll go to Expo and we vend at Expo, obviously, but I'll go to Expo and I'll like to go and have a look around, buy a few things, and actually I'll come away with one thing and spend £60.
Yeah, so you're obviously disappointed with the actual show itself. But then again, as I said to Rick last week, does anything actually compare to Expo of the actual size of it? Because obviously compared to Jam, I don't think it was as big as Expo, was it?
It wasn't, but it wasn't the same atmosphere either. In there, it was a bit...
Well, that's the main reason you go, don't you? You go to feel, sort of something there, it feels good to go. You get that vibe and you're feeling good about the event that you're at. And if you don't get that, that's definitely one of the killers for it.
Well, Vape Fest was Expo, but Vape Fest, you've still got that. You've got the atmosphere of Vape Fest.
Yeah, you put a few vendors in the middle of a field and you can have the vibe that you want, can't you?
And you can still walk around. There's still things there that you could buy and look and do. And for me, there just wasn't that there, personally.
What the hell? Neil Pugley said someone at Vape Jam said if Pro Green built him a coil, he would go buy Pro Green's juice. Well, Neil, can you finish that story? Did he actually build the coil? Did he build the coil?
He couldn't build the coil.
Or was it gash? Was it absolutely gash? If it was good, once again, we'll salute to Pro Green for being a pro vapor.
My ear call and said, sit down there, it'll be all right.
Well, we could, Neil saying here about Vape Jam was much smaller and having ICOS in the middle was just a piss take. Well, I've got another subject to talk about that later. Not about ICOS, but just something in general. Everyone seems to have sort of the negative on that event. I don't know if it's been negative for years.
Well, people said, for me, it wasn't shit because we went there to see who we seen and do what we did. But I'm guessing for people who brought tickets, who planned their whole weekends and paid for hotels and everything else, it was shit. We got rid of 4 kids. Went to Vape Jam.
You see, it's a different perspective when you're going for total different reasons to somebody who's actually a paying customer. Do you know what I mean? When you're a paying customer and you want to go to an event and actually have a really good time, enjoy it, and especially if you've never been to an exhibition before. To me personally, if I'd never been to an exhibition before and I went to that exhibition, it would put me off them.
Yeah, you'd think it was just the same because there was all this hype for Vape Jam, and it wasn't the same as Expo. Not even a small. It wasn't anywhere near the scale of Expo.
I just think it's the vibe at Expo that sort of makes it for a lot of people, especially me. It's like last in October, when we were at our booth and that woman with saxophone and we're all taking piss and having a dance and that guy on fucking stage from Manchester screaming out Manchester and shit.
I was also that song.
That sort of stuff is memories, and that sort of gets you sort of the experience, the hype, and sort of even that to an extent is sort of part of the weekend of having that giggle and Paul dancing, unscrewing his light bulbs and all sorts in middle of Expo. That to me, that's the experience that you want to have. You want to have some fun, and especially as a vendor, you don't want to be sitting in a hall for 3 days and not cracking a smile and having something to smile about. It's good to meet people, and it's great that we're doing great business and people are coming in, but it's got to be as a whole, hasn't it? As a whole event, it's got to shine. But then when that Monday and Tuesday comes, I know we're all like,
Sunday night. Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Ball.
Thank you. Are you leaving us? Thanks for joining us, Tash.
See you later.
See you later. Here he is. We can join him in on the best topic ever. This topic, Paul, you can tell me, is there such thing as a pro vapor?
Fucking
on, as a pro vapor, tell me, is there a thing as a pro vapor? And what I mean is, we get all these people, professional vapor on Instagram, and they've got it in the tags and whatnot. What the fuck is a professional vapor?
The only people that can be a professional vapor, in my opinion, is a full-blown tricker. Possibly a cloud blower, if that is such a profession.
Do you think it's different in the UK to what it is in the States, or was in the States?
No, absolutely, because American people generally get overexcited about shit. So,
Yeah.
no, I don't mean that in any derogatory way to American people. They sort of just get tell you now, just a little bit clearer. They get sort of very excited about things, and to be honest, if you look at the way the UK scene went, it was like a few steps behind America.
Mm.
But the English people are very much like, oh my God, a fad. Oh, that's all it was. Where the same Yanks that were fucking getting excited about Suburban 6 years ago are still I'm super stoked, dude. And that's American people. And I think that's probably why the whole scene thing is still more alive in America. Although I've spoken to people in the States that are saying it's not. It's just not what it used to be. So on that basis, I don't know. I do think Americans generally get a bit more excited about things, and therefore their cloud competitions are next level, really, because they're done in events that are as big as fucking Expo with no air conditioning on and strict rules and judging and all that malarkey. And if you're doing it at that level, then maybe you're a pro vapor. If you're tricking at the level of the V-God trick team, and they're clearly making big fucking dough out of what they do, then they're a pro vapor. Regardless of whatever I achieve in this industry, I'm not a pro vapor.
Do you think it's a bit sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of bigging up yourself, sort of thing.
Your own arse.
Yeah, sort of up your own ass to say you're a pro vapor.
Absolutely.
What, you call yourself a pro vapor?
Yeah. I think it's I don't know. I can't think of anyone in the UK that's pro vapor.
No, because it's not just the fact is there a lot of the people in the States who would be classed as pro vapor are not just known for vaping; they're actually a personality as well. Like let's for instance, let's talk about Fresh Skater J. Fresh Skater J was always that sort of face in vaping who was doing the tricks, but was also that sort of personality, and he was very, very popular at the time he was sort of delved into vaping.
Yeah, but I think if you look at the way that V-God, and I know the guys from V-God and they're good lads and all of that, but they marketed what was in essence pretty shit liquid on the back of something quite fantastic. Mm. And you came to some of the, I don't know, did you come to some of the V-God events?
I hosted the one at...
You hosted the one at Craig,
yeah.
So...
When I knocked you out of the comp and you wanted to smack me.
That's when Tom thought it was too nice to talk to us.
Yeah, that was you knocked me out just so you could go back up to Dale and say, yeah, I'm not fucking putting that. Now, I mean, if you look at the way that V-God marketed that product and took it to a next level in the UK, to the point where, as a business, we stopped V-God because we felt we should. Because it was such a big sort of phenomenon at the time. And quite honestly, they absolutely dragged the arse out of that liquid to the point where people were still using it because they felt it was cool and they should. Yeah. But it wasn't particularly good liquid. The thing it was actually quite trend setting in its value for money, actually. Because I think at the time it was about 35 quid for 120 mil. And because it was considered such a a massive premium American juice at 35 quid for 120 ml. It did sell, but the reality is it was mediocre juice, but it was branded and still is branded exceptionally well. And the level that them lads have took a juice brand to worldwide really is fantastic. It's brilliant. And the downside to that is it proves that marketing something correctly can supersede a product that's more exceptional, but the person behind it hasn't got the ability to brand it in the same way, or the knowledge to brand it in the same way, or the money to brand it in the same way. So
yeah, because they're still going as sort of traveling the world, and
yeah, they've launched various. Their hardware has probably made them a huge amount of money. And again, I'm not knocking them lads, but that stuff's produced in China. I know what our production costs are in China, and I know that VGod, without a shadow of a doubt, are producing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times the volume of mods that we're producing worldwide. The margins on them mods are fantastic. I wouldn't mind a fucking slice of it. They've made a huge amount of money out of sticking a VGod brand on hardware, which started off originally with the Minikin.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that they ever branded as far as hardware was concerned. Soon after that, they launched their own hardware, both regulated and mechanical. And they've launched different ranges of juice now. And Zach and the lads behind that Pro Vapors, I would say so. I would say they is what I would consider personally a Pro Vapor.
Yeah, because they are literally traveling the world.
Not at all. To me, they're a vape personality. And that's what I was going to say earlier. Regardless of what I achieve in this, if I'm a personality, and I don't mean a personality in the sense of, oh, yeah, I'm famous Paul from Endless Mods. People who follow me on any level follow me because of my personality for both reasons. They either like it or they fucking hate it and think I'm a prick. So I would consider myself a personality within the vape industry. Stu Vapes, I would consider a personality within the industry. Yourself, I would consider a personality within the industry. And for me to sit here and go, yeah, I'm a Pro Vapor man, I'm Paul from Endless Mods, and we've got retail outlets, and we've just launched our juice line, and we do our own wire. You've just been a pompous prick, actually, in my own opinion. And you've got the likes of Grim Green in America, who's huge as far as a person's concerned. Is he a Pro Vapor? No, he's not, in my opinion. He's a professional person within the industry, but I don't know.
No, I wouldn't class him as. Once again, it's down to the personality. That's what sells stuff, as we've said. Especially like the VGod stuff, they had that personality and the stuff behind it of obviously showing these tricks that people are like, fucking hard, you do that. Do that. But do you think people wanted to do that sort of thing? They saw it and wanted to be that, so that's why they sort of followed the brand.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's a mad one where you sort of go where people actually profess to be a Pro Vapor. I think that's somebody else to make that choice of whether somebody's a Pro Vapor rather than actually claiming to be.
You've got Pro Vapor as your job title on your Facebook profile. You're a prick. Well, I'll put that out there now. If you've got your job title as admin of X Facebook page, you're a prick. Not a job. And even though we have made money out of Facebook through our business and started the business through Facebook, my job title isn't I'm administrator of Shady Vaping. We've got it covered Facebook. Great man. I've never seen anyone with Pro Vapor on their profile because I'd delete them. I don't know. I mean, if you look at the likes of Ollie Deeks is a big name in the UK, in my opinion, for someone that was to be sponsored, and he's carried soy and he's done what he does, and Ollie can blow a cloud like there's no fucking tomorrow, all them things. Is Ollie a Pro Vapor? Not in my opinion, and that's not being disrespectful to Ollie. I really like Ollie, and I consider Ollie a friend that I've met from doing what I do and him doing what he does. I don't know, mate. The term Pro Vapor don't sit comfortable with me at all by any stretch of the imagination.
That's why I wanted to mention it, because I knew that on a level of sort of, because let's pro stands for professional vapor. Well, in what sense is professional and vapor fucking in the same sentence? You know, it's hard for me to work out in my head how you could actually.
I can see if that's the case. I'm a professional mouth to lung vapor.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't get how you become a professional vapor. Like, it's not like there's a. But there again, you look at like what Eric was trying to do with cloud competition sports and all that malarkey. Ultimately, if it's leagued and you've got leagues and divisions and tables and points, then in essence, I guess you can be a pro vapor by blowing a cloud, because you can win that. You can be the head of that league in that competition for your weight, or I don't even know how they fucking have different leagues for vaping. They don't like put all the fat cunts together and all the people with beards together and all the people with snapbacks together, and I don't understand it. But
they used to weigh people in. They weighed people in for the cloud chasing league. They actually used to weigh people in. So you'd actually go in weight. So imagine if I went in, I'd be like, yeah, only fat fucker on his own blowing a cloud.
Every fucking time, you mad guy.
There's fat lad in corner blowing cloud on his own because there's nobody else in his fucking weight class.
To be honest, there's loads of fat cunts with beards in vaping. Let's be honest. Some of them ain't even got a cock.
Truth. Absolute truth. What's that, Christmas presents?
These are people who we bought presents for that didn't even bother to ask to come and visit us over Christmas, so they can go fuck themselves. I'm opening them in a bit. I'm trying to see if there's any Frere Rocher.
The makeup bushes and bath bombs.
Oh, bath bombs! Get on.
I'll post some videos later of me fucking.
Don't get me fucking started on bath bombs. Right, so I wanted to go into another one, Paul, but I don't know how clocked up me and you about this, because obviously there's been a lot going around about it, and I don't feel like I'm that much clocked up about it. So I wanted to know your opinion on it, and it's the rumours going around about short fills. I don't know what you've heard, but I wanted to know if you've heard anything and what your opinion on it is.
When you posted me the link earlier, I've been busy, mate. Literally, I got up this morning, dropped the kids to school. I was in a meeting with our biggest customer until 12 o'clock. I drove from Kidderminster to Birmingham on the phone. I've done about a 7 or 8 minute live feed in the middle of that. Got back to the office in Birmingham, had a meeting, left there, went to the school, picked up the girl. No, sorry, I come home and I had about 45 minutes at home. Went and picked up the girls, went to dance. But when I seen that on the list, I was going to say to you, message Dale and see if we can get Dale on, because I know Dale understands. Now, what I understand and what I know is that it's got to have. I don't know whether it has to have fit for human consumption on the bottle, but in essence, something that I read that Dale put up yesterday was basically saying if something that is consumed by a human, in whether it's digested, whether it's taken orally, etc., if it doesn't come under its own category, such as TRPR, then it comes under this other category anyway.
Right.
So, in theory, the e-liquid should have come under that category. I believe Dale posted from 2004. Not because e-liquid's been around from 2004, but this regulation's been around from 2004. So what it's basically saying, in essence, is because it's got to be fit for human consumption, it has to be tested in accordance with whatever this regulation was, because it doesn't have to be tested under TPD because it's got no nicotine. But the test to make sure it passes the regulation that it applies to is ultimately the same test you would do to something that you were putting through TPD. So on that basis, I think it's a fantastic thing for 2 reasons. One is because it sort of upholds everything that the TPD was supposed to stand for initially, which was safety, 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 safety. And it gives some sort of clarity and some sort of support to lots of my friends who spent hundreds of thousands of pounds TPDing products. the other thing that it does is it will or should rid the market of the absolute shit that is flying around the market at the moment as far as short fill's concerned. Now, the reality is, mate, I've been on Facebook groups this week where if you want to buy a liquid with 3 milligram of nicotine in there off certain home brewers and certain semi-home brewers, you have to ask for 3 goblins because that means you want 3 milligram of nicotine. And I'm like, what the fucking hell? Well, just call it nicotine. You're blatantly not paying no tax. You're blatantly not declaring what you're doing. Why the fuck do you care whether you're pretending to put goblins in this fucking e-liquid or nicotine in the e-liquid? Let's be honest. I know 100% because I was in a shop when it happened, and I'm not going to mention the name of the shop. They are mixing liquid out the back of the shop and selling it to customers with nicotine in there, in bigger bottles than 10 ml.
People still doing it online as well.
It's something we dropped the whole Birmingham Fog range on the basis that it weren't TPD, and at the time I didn't want to even contemplate working in a short fill way. It didn't sit right with me. Like I said, a lot of my close friends in the industry had spent big money TPD and stuff, and I felt it was right that us and the other big names in the vaping industry should have supported that. And the reality is, Tom, had they have supported that, the consumer would have had very little choice but to do what they were doing.
Yeah.
And because they chose to support it, and because they chose to go the short fill route, us combined as a set of people actually allowed the situation that is today to be there, which is short fill, short fill, short fill, short fill, short fill, short fill, short fill. Now, from my own point of view, we went the short fill route because we got no choice but to try and run with the people that are out there. Now, one thing that I made clear to the lads at Ace of Vapes when we went into this sort of partnership with them, not even a partnership because it's more liquid or it's our liquid. They manufacture it for us. They manufactured what we wanted manufacturing. It's our branding. It was our idea. It's what we wanted. But one thing that I did say to Mark right at the very start was, I need to be absolutely 100% sure that anything that we manufacture in short fill is only using product that will comply for TPD testing should the regulation change overnight. Because I don't want to go down the road of branding a liquid and doing what we're doing at the moment, which is trying to get a little bit of hype up there. We've spent thousands of pounds to be at Expo to push the liquid out in another couple of weeks' time and put some sort of brand out there that I believe has got the ability to carry some legs and have a longevity as far as in the way that we sell that stuff. If in 6 months' time we've managed to create 3 or 4 absolute killer flavours out of the 12 or the 16 or the 20 or the 24 that we've then got available, for the government then to say this has to be tested in accordance with TPD and us have to drop them liquids because they're not compliant is absolute cuntish.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I will say, and I will say it now, it's the 18th of April 2018. There's people that have launched liquid since January this year that should they have to be tested to sell them legally. They will have to bin them because I know they concentrate, carry diacetyl, they're carrying the nasties, that everything that was what TPD was about. That's why certain liquids have come back mainstream because they're using concentrates that they couldn't use under TRPR, but they can use them as a short fill because it's not regulated. Actually, it is regulated. It always has been regulated. The rumours that are going on at the moment are like this is something new. No, actually, what's happening, Tommy, is all these letters that are being posted on Facebook about, did you know short fills should be tested in accordance with TPD regulations? They're only sent out by the manufacturers, or not, sorry, not the manufacturers. They're sent out by the companies that have got the test equipment to test them.
Do you think they're scaremongering, though?
Absolutely. I don't think they're scaremongering. I think they're trying to fucking drum up some business because what they're saying is this law has been in place since 2004. You should be testing your liquid. In order for you to sell it, you've got to be able to prove documentation to say that these products are manufactured in accordance with X, Y, and Z. And I don't know what the ins and outs of this are, which is why I didn't mean to say to you earlier, get Dale on, because I know Dale's clued up about it. And what they're doing is messaging the likes of us, messaging the likes of any shop that sells it, saying, are you aware that short fill liquid, 0 milligram liquid should be tested. We can test them for you. That's all they're doing is touting business. It's the people that are reading the letters and post them on Facebook that start scaremongering because they don't even realise what they're posting. And then you've got the man in the street going, "Oh my God, fucking hell, all this liquid I'm using is going to kill me. It's not safe." And
yeah, from the letters I've seen, it's definitely been sort of the testing places sort of scaring people into trying to testing it. The thing that I want to question is if this regulation's obviously been in since 2004, and obviously the short fills have been in what now, a year and a bit.
Well, I mean, literally, they started dropping big time around. Not even. I mean, if you think this time last year, Tom, we were gearing up for a change on the 20th of May.
Yeah.
And Expo kicked in on the 27th of May. It was the week later that Expo actually kicked in. And if you can remember walking around Expo last May, there was very, very little short fill liquid in Expo last year. And actually, within 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks of Expo, short fill took a hike. Now, I can remember sitting in Matt Houston's office at V-Juice last January, February, and we also had somewhere along the line, I bumped into Ben Solana and Mark when Ben was still working at Ace of Vapes, and we had exactly the same conversation. Short fill will absolutely flourish in the next 12 months. And to be fair to Ben and Mark, they were saying, you know what, it won't, man. There's no way they can allow it to happen when they've just made us spend X fucking £100,000 being compliant. And Matt was saying the same thing. And even back then, I was saying to Tasha, if I had my own lab, I would have been making short fills and using the TPD flavours, the 18 milligrams, as the flavoured Nick shot. That was what I would have done right from the get-go. So anything that I've now put in a 10 ml bottle, I'll do it in a 50 ml bottle, and you can use an 18 milligram, one that's TPD, bang it straight in there, you're straight at 60 ml. There's no steep time. It's all done, good to go. Off your fucking pop, and you've got 60 ml of good liquid. That's what I would have done personally last year. And quite honestly, mate, if I'd have got my own lab this time last year, I'd have made us all wealthy last year, because I know 100% I'd have been ahead of the game as far as short fill was concerned. And then the trouble is, if I'm being completely honest, I don't want to sit around the table with anyone and fill their head with ideas to make them millionaires on the back of something I want to think would be a good thing. Now, all I can do is sit there 12 months later and say, look, short fill has made people a lot of money in the last 12 months. People, mate, that haven't even got a job, people that are mixing this shit in their house. That's not everyone, because Dale also spent a lot of money TPD in the last 12 months, has predominantly gone short fill.
Yeah.
Ace of Vapes in particular actually joined the short fill party quite late, because Mark was still adamant, I'm not going down that road. I'm going to stick with 10 mils. We've paid all these hundreds of thousands of pounds getting both certification and plant and machinery to cope with bottling all the 10 mils that needed bottling. I know Mark was sitting on, I don't know if it was £1 million worth or 1 million chubby Grilla bottles, 10 mils, on the basis that obviously everything had got to be in 10 mil bottle. And then they put extra bottling machines in for bottling 10 mils. And pretty much the only thing going through their machines now, by and large, is their 50-50 range, which is obviously TPD. But more than that is Nick shots.
Yeah, exactly. The thing for me, Paul, is, and this, I don't know whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it seems to me that it's sort of like getting to the point where it's like dob a dealer, like dob someone in to sort of get them out of the fucking way, basically. You know, sort of the thing for me is, obviously I don't know deep down what the situation with short fills is, and obviously this regulation has been in for a long time, but nobody's enforcing this regulation and hasn't been enforcing this regulation. The trading standards don't know their ass from the fucking elbow regarding TRPR and this fucking regulation that they're doing. To me, it sort of feels like it's the industry that's saying this needs to be done, that needs to be done, and then
the first people in what, like, if I go back 18 months ago and I was having similar discussions about TPD and how the fuck are trading standards even going to regulate TPD, and I said it to Tash, I said it to everyone that I'd spoke to, I haven't got to worry about trading standards. I've got to worry about the cunt down the road who don't like the fact that our shop's busier than theirs. They will put me That is why from day one, mate, we have never, ever, ever sold anything in our shop that's not TPD compliant.
Mm.
Even prior to TPD coming in, and you know, this time last year, mate, I was live feeding my head off 7 days a week from the shop, getting rid of stock, getting rid of stock, getting rid of stock. And I remember we done 40 eye care minis one night, and I'd done them for tenors posted. And Dale was commenting saying, mate, they're TPD compliant, they're 2 mil. And I was like, mine haven't got TPD packaging on them. And it has to be a permanent part of the packaging under TPD. Therefore, all these people that were printing out TPD stickers and whacking it on anything they wanted to and trying to make out that they were all compliant weren't compliant. Now, I'd never ever feel the need to phone up trading standards and say, excuse me, do you realise the man down the road from me is selling stuff that's non-compliant? But I was always concerned that the man down the road from me would have no qualms in phoning up and saying, do you know Paul Harrison's a cunt? So on that basis, from the day that we'd done, from the 20th of March last year, well, from the 19th of March last year was the last time we sold anything non-TPD compliant in our shop.
Yep.
Or online. I had to set the website down offline for nearly 3 weeks because it was still carrying non-compliant stock. Because I'd spent that much time trying to clear the shop of as much as we could. I hadn't even got round to sorting out the website and stuff like that. And to be fair, 12 months later, I probably haven't really caught up where I should have done with the website, to be quite honest, because it's just day in, day out, it's just a fucking fight and just trying to make ends meet. And it's just so much more difficult than it was. But the biggest people we have to worry about, and I don't have to worry about it because I still don't sell nothing in my shop that I consider shit.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't just buy anyone's homebrew and go, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy that because he's selling it me for £4 for 650 mil. I can knock it out for tenors and make good fucking margins. I'm not interested. If it doesn't suit what we're doing, I'm not buying it. Simple as that. So I haven't got to worry about that. But the people that are selling it, they have to worry about the people that are selling these services. They're the people that will dob in to trading standards. Because I'll be on to trading standards saying, do you realise that the vaping industry are selling product that doesn't come under this regulation? They've actually loopholed TPD completely.
Ours are regulated.
Nick as fuck.
It's not a worrying thing on behalf of what we do as Endless and AF. That's not the worrying part for me. Just the worrying part for me is that it seems to be that we are now becoming very self-regulated. You know, everyone's sort of putting this information out there as somebody who's inside the industry, not who's a governing body, and then stating that these things have to be done. It's us actually as the industry that are setting these sort of standards. Yes, the regulation is there, but it's not being adhered by for the last fucking 8 months.
No, but I mean, if you look at legal highs, for instance, people were selling legal highs legally by having on the packet not fit for human consumption, plant food.
Yeah,
absolute bollocks. Absolute bollocks. And I know people, mate, we made good money out of our business fucking 4 or 5 years ago. Very good money. Still weren't making nothing like what my fucking mate in Digbeth had, a legal high shop. £10,000 a day, some days was going through that shop, mate. 10 grand a day on legal highs. And not only that, when he gets there at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, when he can be asked to get out of his fucking pit, he's got a queue of fucking smackheads at his door every morning to spend their dough. Oh. And it was like ridiculous. And honest to God, we opened our shop in March 2013. May 2013, sorry. So we're 5 years next month. And at that time, I said to Tash and a friend of mine who'd just been made redundant, you know what, legal highs, man, it's fucking dope. And to be fair, when I looked into it genuinely, I would rather have sold heroin and crack.
Mm.
Just from a moral point of view, mate, there was people dying on that legal high shit. And whatever happens, no matter how much money I've got in the bank, I've got to get to sleep at night. And for me to lie in bed in a fucking £2 million house with a fucking Bentley on the drive thinking, I wonder how many people have died today because of what we do. That ain't my life. I'm not interested. But there's other people out there who don't give a shit. Yeah. And they don't give a shit if they're selling legal highs that are killing people. They don't give a shit if they're selling e-liquid that's got fucking cat pubes in it. that don't care because actually they want to make money. It's just about making money, as much money as they can. That's why I do not agree with short fill. That's not to say we're just about to launch our own short fill. I've tried to do something different with the short fill. I've tried to do something that no one else is doing with short fill at the moment to make it different. But it also fits firmly in my head that the minute that happens, we're straight TPD compliant on our range.
Yeah,
because we're ready to do that, and that was something we started, and we've spent now. But we're into April. Sorry, we're into April. So by the time Expo comes in May, Mark and me and Tash sat down in October of last year. So we're 8 months in on this project. Now, I could have went to Mark in October, and in reality, mate, we could have had a range of liquid drop by November. And I chose not to do that because I didn't want to rush something out just to flood another shitty shortfall on the market.
Yeah, just have something just on the market.
Every time we've had a meeting, something different's progressed. And we got to the point of literally manufacturing 50 mil short fills when I said, you know what, I think we should go 30s. I think it's the way it's going to go now. We decided to go 20 mil content, 10 mil nick shot. That gives us the ability to go VG, high PG, 50-50. It means we can put 6 milligram back on the market as far as short fills concerned. We can put 6 milligram mouth to lung out there. We can put 3 milligram mouth to lung out there, which is lacking as well at the moment because there's not many companies doing 3 milligram mouth to lung. It's 6, 12 and 18 or 6, 12 and 16 or 0. So then they're buying a 6 and a 0 to make a 3. So we decided to do something absolutely different. Now, the advantage for us in the short term is after Expo, we will be looking at doing a range of all-day vapors. It's not going to be called that because that sounds shit. But it means that we can do a TPD, a non-TPD tobacco, menthol, ice menthol, blackcurrant menthol, all them flavours that people are vaping day to day, all day on a mouth-to-lung device. But I also know now, before we've even done that, that the product that we're using is already TPD compliant in other guises.
Yeah.
But it just means that we can give the mouth-to-lung vapor a 30 ml bottle of liquid, which they can't buy anywhere at the moment unless they're vaping 0. And in fact, they can't really buy 30 ml anywhere because apart from the few 30 ml short fills that have hit the market, and even then, they've hit the market in 25 ml.
Yeah, 25, and then you get half a nick shot, and you wait through the rest of it.
And you might be at 3.6, or you might be at whatever. It's not really a major issue, but ours is the first liquid to hit the market that is purposely aimed at both sub-ohm vaping and, for me, more importantly, the mouth-to-lung vapor. Because for me personally, it's not an issue, mate. I'll vape V-Juice Purple Rain. I'll vape Shady Vaping Menthol. I'll vape Vampire Vape Heisenberg. I haven't got a particular preference about what I'm using. At the moment, I've got some Heisenberg in there. For the last few months, I've been back on Shady Vaping Menthol. Before that, for 6 months before that, I was on Purple Rain. For 6 months before that, I was just on Heisenberg. For 4 years before that, I was just on menthol. It's all I've done was menthol. Our menthol, I vaped it, come rain, come shine. That's what I've done. But we have huge amounts of customers that come into our shop who want a liquid that they can't have the liquid because they're using a mouth-to-lung device that won't carry an 80-20 liquid. And the truth of it is, even if you get a 6 milligram 80-20, it's still not got the same hit as a 50-50. 6 milligram, because the PG adds so much to the throaty and the grittiness of that vape. So yeah, in essence we've gone short fill route because we've got no choice to. But we've catered for 2 different markets. We've done something that no one else has done, and in the click of a finger, we can be TPD compliant on every single flavour that we've launched today, and every single flavour that we will launch in the future can and will be TPD compliant. So we're never ever going to have to drop a flavour and go, fucking hell, regulations have stopped us making that. Regulations meant we've had to change our ingredients on that. So it used to be an absolutely fire custard. Now it's a bag of shit because we've took all the shit out of it. Make it a good custard, or make it a good this or a good that, or whatever it is. So I don't know, mate. I think the companies that are offering these services are the people that. I mean, if I had a company that had a lab that cost £2 million that could test this stuff, I'd be fucking phoning trading standards saying, "Do you realise there's vape shops out there that aren't testing liquids in accordance with whatever this regulation is, and you're allowing it to happen? Because the trading standards have only got to land at one fucking shop, mate. And
Yeah, they have, yeah.
got 2,000 bottles of liquid out of stock and fucking burn it. And it'll spread around this industry like wildfire, and everyone will panic exactly the same as they panicked the day before TPD, and they said RDAs are now part of the regulation. Look at the panic that went through the industry in that 24 hours.
Fucking hell, did it not fucking... That was mental that day.
But actually, I didn't panic because I still says, and I stand by it to this day, I can stand up in the court, and in my opinion, the TRPR and the TPD regulation was that badly written. There's nothing in there that says more rebuildable has to be TPD compliant because it doesn't cover it.
It goes back to the regs, though, Paul. You know, the training standards have to have some sort of training to know about vaping, to go around and regulate vaping. You can't just read the TRPR and know everything. You need to have some sort of training. My question would be to them is, who the fuck's doing your training? Your people who are going out are only as good as their training. And if you haven't had any training, they go at the stores and just going on an inkling of what they've read, they're not actually laying the land of the law down correctly.
No,
so they read, because let's be realistic, they are still human. So they're going to be on Facebook. They're going to see certain vaping posts and stuff like that spread massively. And they're going to be influenced by what's been said in the community. So they're going to regulate it from what other people are saying as well, because they're getting the sort of people who are in the industry giving that information out, and they're then taking that information and maybe applying it a total different way to what we're stating it is.
Absolutely. And again, if you go back to between May and probably August last year, there was lots of shops that had trading standards land on them where they were questioning short fill, because all trading standards knew was you can't have a bottle bigger than 10 mil.
Yeah.
Now, when some people were getting threatened to take short fill off the shelf, for a shopkeeper to have to say to the trading standards officer, mate, that doesn't even come under TPD because it's got no nicotine in it, and then go, oh, well, I'll go back and check this and I'll get it's absolute bollocks, to be honest. So then they started saying, well, actually, it comes under this, whatever that advertising thing they were doing, where if it was food related, bam, fucking pull it off the shelf. Because that's the next line of defence is, oh, you've made me look like a twatter, so I'm going to have to fuck you some other different way. And then you've got people sticking this is not a food product on their fucking bottle, on the boxes, to try and sell the stuff that was, in theory, non-compliant.
Yeah, when it had all sort of the food stuff on there, like you've seen a lot of that, and you don't see that anymore. Like you don't see the fruits even on sort of like even like a strawberry liquid. You can't see a strawberry on the bottle. You're not seeing it. So sort of people are taking heed to what they are actually saying, and that's great.
We've got no image of food or drink or anything on our product whatsoever. We stuck to using something that was generically associated to fizzy. So actually there's bubbles in the background. On the creamy one, it looks like cream being mixed into something.
Well, yeah.
And that's just how it is, and that's just what we'll do, because on that basis, no one can come into our shop.
That's a shape. That's not, you know what I mean? That's a shape. It's not actually a form of anything. So for somebody to state that, oh, it looks like cream being mixed is a load of fucking bollocks. It's a shape. You know what I mean?
You look like you've had 2 acid tablets and something spinning around in front of you, whatever you want it to be. But what I wanted to do was make sure that our branding was branded in such a way that, one, I mean, I do not believe for a minute, and I've said it publicly on many, many posts, I don't believe having a cartoon character on a box of e-liquid makes a kid go, oh, I want a fucking vape because it's got a breakfast cereal on it. I don't believe it does. On the basis that if you look at a box of fags now, mate, they've got pictures of people with fucking open lungs on their boxes. And there's 14-year-old kids still smoking out because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
On that basis, I've never been one that said, oh my God, that's branded specifically towards children. It's branded specifically towards fucking idiot vapors. When
that's shiny on a bottle and the picture.
Man rushes out to the shop to buy a bottle of Pokemon e-liquid, that's exactly what the person who made it was fucking targeting, not children. They know that this industry, certainly 12 and 18 months ago, was governed by fucking sheep. Yeah. And one person hand-checked the Pokemon liquid, fucking 60,000 people hand-checked Pokemon e-liquid. And there's a few people, and I say a few because it's a few by comparison, that get up in arms and go, my God, that's just fucking branding and it's aimed towards children and kids and fucking blah, blah, blah. So what about if you have a rainbow-coloured vape, then who's that aimed towards? Is that aimed towards women, or is it aimed towards kids, or is it aimed towards... Because if it's just about not smoking, a white e-cig with a yellow tip would suffice. So what the fuck's all the colours about, apart from satisfying different people's needs? I don't get it. So for me, I haven't chose to brand our liquid in the way that we branded it because I don't want to be seen to attracting children. I just never want to be in a position where either any of our own shops or any shops that we've wholesaled the product to gets our product pulled off their shelves because we've badly managed what we've done at the start. So all these things we discussed right at the start, I want the branding to be clean and crisp, and I want it to do what it's supposed to do. And I believe we've absolutely nailed that. The whole AF thing works perfectly well. There's no food content on any of the boxes or packaging. There's no... So, I mean, and genuinely, when Jack says to me the other day, Jack's doing a photo shoot this weekend, and he said to me, I'm doing a photo shoot. Should I take some bottles of liquid with me? And I says, if they've got the tits out and tattoos, no. If you can get a bird or a bloke to wear a trouser suit or office attire, and we can do an advertising campaign, classy as fuck, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be doing a trashy as fuck advertising campaign, a slutty as fuck advertising campaign. But if you can get a bird in, and at the end of the day, and I'll say this quite openly and honestly, and I don't know whether Matt Houston's watching or whatever, at the expo that they done last October, their promo girls looked 10 times sexier, probably isn't the right word, but classier definitely than the one they'd done in the May before, where they were walking around in hot pants and fucking tight tops and whatever else. Last year, they had leggings on, they had camo T-shirts, and they just looked, in my opinion, 20 times better. I would rather have two women stood by our stand in pinstripe suits, glasses, fucking, or the one with the hair up like a receptionist, that type of sort of sexy, classy look, than I would have some slags walking around in fucking hot pants with a big, dirty, smelly camel toe. Because I don't believe it sells the product. But actually, I think that we could flip the whole promotion thing on its head, doing a classy as fuck advertising campaign and proving that you don't need tits and fucking abs to sell liquid. I don't think you do. And
we all know when we look at Instagram and we look at pictures, especially of red-blooded fucking males, when we look at a woman on Instagram who's holding a bottle of liquid, we do not have a fucking clue what is in her hand. Not a clue.
You know what, Tom? Honestly, and I'm not... Tashi sat over there. I'm not saying this because she sat over there. Or I have got no regard for any woman. And I get that they're doing a job. And probably not so much the woman, actually. That's not right. I've got no regard for a brand that needs or feels the need to use that type of advertising.
Yeah.
Because as a 42-year-old man who genuinely... I don't enjoy strip clubs. It's not my thing for the same reason. Actually, I don't believe the women are degrading themselves. They're there doing a job and they're happy to do it. But I would not go and pay a bird 20 quid to dance on my lap for 4 minutes, when if I went into town, I could spend 7 quid on 2 drinks and probably get my cock sucked in the car park for nothing. So,
you're not going to town again?
No. I mean, but genuinely, that's not because I'm older and I'm married and I've got kids. That has been my attitude since I was 16 years old. Why the fuck would you pay a bird to dance for you? You can't even stick fucking 2 digits up there. But I could go down to a pub down the road, mate. There's slags coming out of there. They'll fucking take you over the park and give you a cheeky wank on the way home. and that's genuinely my sort of... I find... Like, I can't even remember, what was that fucking liquid called that launched in October? Podium or something like that?
Yeah. The pole liquid, I know what you mean.
And the dancers, and I was just a bit like, I don't even know what their liquid tastes like because I'd never try it and I'd never sell it.
No, but you know what? That Manchester, we still know his fucking song.
No, but I mean...
Actually, we don't remember the juice the slags were on.
No, exactly. Exactly, and that's why the marketing for me is massively important. And as much as I've never ever considered having promo girls on our stand for anything, it's crossed my mind in the last 48 hours whether we should have classy promo people, not even girls, even men walking around in suits, classy as fuck. Because no one else does that really. They all go to the other end. They've got as least clothing as possible, as much skin out as possible. Fucking lycra tops, no bras, the fucking cellulite that looks like a black bag full of fucking dirty washing. It's disgusting. In my opinion, I don't like it. And if any of my pals are using that way of promoting their products, fair play to you. Do whatever you feel you need to do. It's not my way of selling a product. But my man from King of Vapes went non-stop, mate. You know yourself, for fucking 3 days. That cunt was non-stop on that stage. And they had saxophone players, and she was dressed up sexy, if that's the right word for it. But she weren't revealing, and she weren't dressed up like a fucking slag. And they were on the stage, and non-stop, he had a crowd around his stand.
Yeah.
There's companies in there that I don't even know what they're called to this day. I only remember that one's called Podium because of the fucking polls, because it was so extreme. But actually, I'd never heard of Frontline. Obviously, I'm friends with Jay, who owns that expo, who owns Frontline. I'd never heard of Frontline until May last year when they launched at Expo. But actually, more because of their stand. Their stand was fantastic. And it was fantastic again in October. And it's got not a pair of tits in sight.
I got caught out on that one because theirs is called Frontline and their liquid's called Frontline. And there's a flea pet thing that's called Frontline. I went, who's Frontline? Isn't that a pet fucking thing? And Jay, it's mine. So I got caught out on that one. But as you say, like when they do the trip, you go inside, don't you? You go inside it and they have like the horror shows and shit like that. That shit's fucking perfect. That sort of marking's wicked. And that's the sort of way that it should be. But we all know when you go to car shows, and you went to car shows, I don't know when you went to car show with Billy, were the girls there laying on cars and taking photos half naked and that?
Not like they would have been 10 years ago, but they're certainly walking around in the fucking lycra cat suits. Again, there's fucking camel toe everywhere, fucking no bras, and it's still designed ultimately to I mean, I can honestly say, Tom, I would never walk into a showroom and go, I was going to buy that car, but that bird line on that one makes that car look so much better. I'm going to buy that car. I don't even get why any normal bloke would say, I'm going to buy that liquid just to impress that girl that's got her tits out. She's out the back smoking cigarettes, mate, every fucking 25 minutes. She don't give a fuck whether you buy the vape gear or not. I've been there. I've been at Expo at 8 o'clock in the morning when they're handing these girls fucking vape pens and they ain't got a clue what to do with them. And they're trying to vape on them, and it's ridiculous. And actually, we've never done any promo at our stand apart from us. I've never even had people out dishing fucking flyers, nothing at all. This is where we are. Come and see us. And touch wood, and with the thanks of everyone who supports us, we've had 4 fantastic expos. And the only reason now why I would even consider promo girls or promo guys is to do a classy as fuck campaign, because actually no one's done it. And it just fits in with our branding and what we do. We could easily do a slutty as fuck. We could do a variation. We could have fucking slags walking around with slutty as fuck on their shit. And we could have birds walking around in suits with classy as fuck on. And fucking blokes walking around in fucking trunks and 6-packs out with fit as fuck on. I don't think we need to do that. Because I don't like it. I don't think you don't sell product for me.
I don't know. To me, it's sort of the mindset you've got to be in to actually think that would work. That's the thing for me is I personally just out of my own mind just think personally when I look at products, I don't look at products and think, oh, is there a bird stood there next to it? Do I go talk to it? And I get that some people fucking take photos with these birds and it's still promo, gets on Facebook and all this shit. But realistically, would you go over and try a product because there were a girl like that stood there? I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't.
I wouldn't. There's clearly people that do. And the reality is sex does sell. And that's because, in general, both men and women are fickle at that level, generally. Not for everyone. But actually, if a bunch of girls was walking around Expo and there was a stand that have got fucking 10 different men that look like the Dream Boys selling liquid, even if they only went over there for the crack, just to fucking, oh my God, look at his fucking muscles, look at his six-pack, look at his fucking package that he's packing in his fucking bunchy smugglers. It's still done it's done what it was supposed to do. Even if one of them takes a picture with all 10 of them and it goes on social media, there's always going to be people that go, fucking hell, they're fit. There's going to be other people who are trying to look and zoom in on the picture to see what liquid they're actually promoting. And there's going to be other people that say, this is disgraceful and outrageous. But the bottom line is, if you fucking do it, even if you've got the likes of me posting up their picture saying, what a pack of pricks, I've still posted their picture and shared it. And out of everyone that sees it from my share, there's going to be a percentage of people that have got the same opinion of me, a percentage of people that think that the blokes are fucking gorgeous, and a percentage of people that go, oh, I bet that liquid's nice, I'm going to try that. And the same applies whether it's blokes with the six-packs out and a fucking 12-inch cock packed into his Speedos, or a bird who's got the nicest tits that's ever fucking been made by God, and the cutest looking camel toe that probably tastes of fucking sweet candy. So, for me personally, would never, honestly, it never ever encouraged me to go over to that stand to even see what they were selling, because my honest opinion straight off the get-go is, as if they've had to use that marketing technique to even attract people to the stand.
I don't think it's just that though, Paul. I think it's the fact is that there's got to be that trust aspect as well. You know, I'd rather go to somebody that I would actually think they knew what they were talking about. If you went over to a promo girl, you couldn't go over to her and go, well, what do you think of this liquid? And what do you think of this mod? And what do you think of that? Because they're just going to be generic fucking answers because they ain't got a fucking clue. And that's not branding. Every promo person out there doesn't know what they're doing. And what I'm saying is, at the shows and stuff, you're not going to approach somebody to gain knowledge, because they're not going to give that fucking knowledge, because they're not going to have a clue what they're talking about, and they are out the back having a fag.
No, exactly. I genuinely like the fact that when I'm sat on our Saturday fucked on halfway through the fucking Saturday, and there's people going up to Tasha or Simone or Yvette if she's working and asking questions, not one of them three women have to shout over to me or you or Adam or whoever else working saying, Paul, this geezer wants to know what's the crack with the switch. Because they know what the fuck they're doing. They know what they're talking about. They know how our products work. And I like to sit there and think, who else is doing that in here? No one, or very few people have got that level of knowledge across the board of stuff that they've got in there. And actually, I know that anyone could go up to Tash and 99% of the problems she'd know what they are, and 1% she might say to me, Paul, I don't know what this is. But that's the same with me. There might be 1% where I'm saying to Tash or Adam, I ain't got a fucking clue.
Sometimes when we go, okay, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Let's work it out.
Let's take it apart and see. Do you know what I mean? When we sold one of the first clean mods, mate, the geezer come back within half an hour and he was like, I can't fire it. And I was like, fuck. And then I was like, we did have a problem. If you remember, when we launched the black colour change clean mod, they painted the hybrids.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
So some of them worked and some of them didn't. And some of them worked until you tightened the hybrid just a quarter of a turn more and it caught the paint and it stopped the conductivity. So I ordered fucking 200 copper hybrids for the colour changes, and then anyone that bought one, we were trying to clean them up and say, look, it's working, but message the Facebook page, and as soon as they land, we'll send you out a free copper hybrid disc. But a geezer come back and he was like, and I'd set up my colour change the very first day we had them in just to watch it change colour. And then Simone, I messaged Simone and said, we've got black colour change, we've got silver plated, copper and brass, which ones you want? And Simone used to have 008 on a number. And she was like, I'll have 008 black clean, the colour change. So I was like, mint. She said, I'll come over. And she come over that night and I built it for her and it wouldn't fucking work. And I was like, what the fuck? And it took me ages and ages and ages to realise fucking paint on the threads on the hybrid. And then I swapped out a hybrid off the copper mod, bam, straight away. Cleaned the paint off a hybrid straight away, firing. So this geezer come back to the stand. He's like, mate, I've just bought this clean mod, it won't fire. And I've fucking... absolute knobhead I am. I've took the fucking deck off. I've took the switch out. I've checked his battery. I've put it back together. I've fucking got his black hybrid disc. I've put a copper one in there. And it was like, it still won't fire. And all it was is he wasn't unscrewing the fucking lock switch on the bottom. So I'm there fucking about with it for 20 minutes. And then he was like, no, it still ain't working, mate. But obviously, when I tried it, I was like, yeah, mint, give it back to him. And he must have walked off around the corner, come back, it's not working again. I was like, what the fuck? Obviously, we sold loads of them fast, man. And I was thinking, how many are out there that are intermittently fuck like this? What is wrong with it? And I didn't know. And then I was like, what? I don't know what you mean, mate. Like, it's working. And he was like, no, look, the button won't press in. I was like, you need to unscrew that, you mad guy. Like, oh, fucking hell. So, like, that was just like, I felt like a prick, to be honest, because I was a bit like, you just assume people know. I've never ever bought a mod with a set of instructions, and the only mod I've ever seen with a set of instructions with that was our mods.
Yeah.
But I used to get, when I got my first limitless mod, I didn't know how it worked. I assumed it was a 510 top cap. I didn't even realise it was hybrid. And I get it home and I had a look and I'm like, well, that must work. How'd you stop the battery rattle? Then no, that screws out. Fuck about it. You learn what you're doing. It's amazing how many people and then obviously, when we launched our first kits, we had full instructions with them. And it's something we stopped doing, actually, that we should do. And it's amazing how many people phone up saying, all right, mate, I've put all this together and I've got battery rattle. Oh, unscrew the dial in the switch, mate. Oh, brilliant. Thanks ever so much. Now, I always then think, are they even in a position to be using that fucking device? That they don't understand the basics of how a mech mod works.
Yeah.
Basis of what makes it conduct, what makes the switch work. I don't know.
It's just knowledge and giving that knowledge like exactly at the point of sale. I know you can't do that online, and it's fucking impossible to do it online. But actually going to face customer service and receiving that correct information is fucking 10 to none. You know what I mean? It's something that, you know, we definitely pride ourselves on. That with fact is we tell people how to set it up. It's done, dusted. You should be able to set it up. And I think do people then sort of think, oh well, I put batteries in it and it works. You know what I mean? Like a fucking remote does. You put batteries in your Sky remote, you press fucking TV guide, and your Sky fucking turns on. You know what I mean?
Mate, we had a person order off the website an RDA, some wire, some cotton, an Able clone, batteries, night core charger, the fucking lot. Now, when someone puts an order in like that and they've got everything they need to vape, you assume they half know what they're doing. The cunt phoned, in fact, it was a woman, I'm telling a lie, a woman bought it for her husband, and then she phoned back to the shop and said, I've bought this, what's your order number, love? She gave it us, they looked on the computer, right, you've had this, isn't it? Yeah. Where's the on-off switch on the mech, on the mod? And I was like, what the fuck, man? And actually we said to her, you know what, probably ain't what you need, send it back, and we'll refund you, and this is what I'd recommend. What's he using at the moment? What does he want? And to be honest, when I first got my mech, I didn't have a fucking clue. I didn't really understand how it worked. I didn't understand that the body of the mod was conducting the power.
Yeah, but at that time, nobody fucking knew, Paul.
No, I know, but I mean, all I knew is that if I was using 28 gauge, I shouldn't do any less than 6 wraps on a 3mm bit dual cord, and that'll give me about 0.6. That's all I knew. I didn't have an ohms checker. And that's what I'd done. And I was like, and then we didn't even have 25 hours fucking HE4s and all that bullshit, mate. I was using some ropey fucking
EFES 10 amps.
Not even the EFES purples, mate. EFES reds. And they were like fucking 10 amp or something like that. But at 0.6, you're fine. You know, you ain't got a problem at 10 amps, but that's all I knew. So actually, when I've done my next build, it was 6 wraps, 28 gauge, fucking 3mm screw. In fact, it weren't even 3mm. 3mm was a new thing. I used to use 2mm back in the day.
2 and 2.5.
2.5. And then I remember going up to a 3mm screwdriver with 22 gauge royal and coming in at 0.14 and thinking, my fucking God, man, I'm fucking bad. And then I'd done a 0.2 build on a dark horse on the regulated parallel, on a parallel mech. And actually, that was probably one of my most enjoyable vapes, 0.2, parallel mech. And that's what I enjoy. I like, I really, really like a parallel box. And actually, I think between now and October, I'm going to work on a box. And even last night, I said to Tasha, I'll come up with an idea for a box that is something that's not out there at the moment. Just size-wise, it's not out there. So just see, I don't know, mate. The industry's weird. It's a weird industry at the moment. And like I heard you talking to Tasha about the mouth to lung thing and that. And I just think people have got, I think because the community thing's gone, there's not so much eagerness to impress people with their latest kit.
Yeah.
So therefore, they've just got a device and it works and it stops them from smoking, so they're cool with it. And actually, I do see a little bit like now the American market seems to have picked up a bit again. And even HDNE, they've done the next batch of the Exo Armor, and it looks like it's took off way more than it ever did the first time round. And Complife have got involved, so they're doing some murdered out ones, and Leon's back behind it, pushing HDNA, doing what they do. I'm pretty sure that will filter down back to the UK by the summer. I believe that by the summer, Tube will be coming back in again, as it did 2 years ago when we first launched Endless. And
I think we're getting there. I honestly think we're getting there. There is obviously not a huge, as you say, the sort of community and sort of Facebook being flooded with sort of the vibe of what it used to be. I think still people are still purchasing devices and still rocking mechs and whatnot. And I still believe there is still that love, and people are ramping up to that. And as we said before that the people who have been using regulated devices as their all-day vapes are now wanting to up their game to try mechs and, you know, try parallel boxes. And I think that movement will always be there of people wanting to sort of not, I don't know if upping their game is a right word for it, but I just feel like the industry still has a lot more to give, and I think it's going in a totally different direction to the whole community thing and everything like that. And people are sort of not stuck in their ways, but people are wanting to move forward, and it's the newer vapors that are wanting to push forward rather than the veterans, as you could call us, the oldies. I think that's the thing. But last subject we've got, Paul, and I did a little bit of research today. Because I saw a little bit more about the IQOS and stuff like that. And I didn't really want to talk about the IQOS, but I wanted to talk about the science around vaping. And I looked at a few videos, and obviously PMI is the science side of like the labs and stuff like that. So owned by Philip Morris is PMI. And obviously they're heavily regulated with all the science and all the money they've invested in sort of this IQOS thing. Do you think there needs to be that little bit more investment in the technology in vaping, science-wise? You know, learning that these obviously are 95% safer than traditional tobacco. Do you think we've got a lot more to push sort of around that sort of side of things, of the science into vaping and the devices we're using and how we could be using them and how they could be better? And do you think it's got a lot more to give? Do you think we should, not necessarily I wouldn't say as a community we need to invest in, but do you think people need to sort of, who are at that sort of power, need to be investing more into the science behind vaping and everything like that? What do you think?
My honest thoughts again is that Philip Morris will put as much billions of pounds as needed into his science, because at some point in the next 5 years, he's going to suggest to the government that that's the science that every country should be using. And if they're not, they can't sell it.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Doing it for 5 years. And therefore, if we're doing it, you should do it. And the government will shit themselves and say, right, as of 18 months from now, you must be using this type of product or you can't sell it legally.
Yeah.
Morris will say, oh, that's good because we're already doing it. And that's why we suggested to you. And I'll say, fuck you all, I'm shutting my shop and over. And that's why I've advocated that for 6 years, Tom. I had a really, really, really long chat with Phil and Dimitri when they come over from America 3 or 4 years ago, and I went and picked them up from the airport, and they come to our shop, and we was in the shop till 1-2 o'clock in the morning. And actually, to talk to, there was two things that come out of that for me. One is that their sort of pleasedness. I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of, but their feedback on our shop was fantastic because we did cater for so many people. And obviously they're coming from an American market where predominantly you've got shops that are twice as long as Dudley, and there's liquid from one end of the wall to the other end of the wall of all different brands, and there's fucking cloud charts on the wall, and there's fucking music playing and this, that, and the other. And actually, to sit down with more Dimitri, to be honest, because he's obviously more advocate than Phillies, and for Dimitri to say it was really, really refreshing to walk into a vape shop and see, firstly, cabinets specifically dedicated to made-to-lung vaping, the equivalent to sub-ohm vaping, a range of liquid that catered to made-to-lung, and a range of liquid. And at that particular time, we were stocking heavy, man. We were like probably 150 brands worth of liquid in, and that's what we done. But actually, we still stopped a huge amount. Every single liquid we could stop from how long we stopped. And that was more because of me. And that still is because of me, because I'm a bit like, why should we not have it for them people?
Yeah.
I've said it all the way through that journey. The amount of our competitors that enabled us to grow because they'd lost their way was good for us. Because there was people that came to us, and they might even go to some of our competitors to buy an item of hardware that we didn't sell. But they'd still come back to us and say, I can't believe they haven't got this range of mouth to lung. All they've got is this range and it's shit, and they only carry 6 flavours and they've only got this or they've only got that. But then the other thing was talking to Dimitri, pretty much what he was saying was that, and it's something that I'd always thought from day one, is that ultimately big tobacco will come and take this industry by its bollocks, turn it upside down, and they will run and maintain this industry.
Mm.
And he was saying that if you went back to sort of the late 70s, early 80s, was literally at the point where the tobacco industry, and I think there was 5 or 6 big players then as opposed to the 3 that there are now. There was 400 or 500 different tobacco companies in America, but the big 6 went to the government and said, listen, we do accept that cigarettes are killing people now. Even though we've been saying for the last 30 years they're not, they actually are. So what we want to do is we want to regulate our industry, and this is how we believe it should be regulated. We've already put X million pound into reports and into testing and into this, that and the other. And we believe this should be the standard cigarette manufacturer. Now, the government shit themselves and said, okay, yeah, we'll go with that, but you also need to donate X percentage of your profit to each state in America. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. That's worth X £100 million.
That's pennies out of our bank.
Yeah, literally. But then what it did do was exactly what will happen with this industry, I think, is that everyone was given an amount of time to hit this level of regulation. Now, the only people at that particular time were 6 players, and they pretty much monopolised and cahooted together to create this situation. Then between the 6 of them, when this regulation was put out there and said, right, you've got X, I don't know what the timescale was. Let's, for argument's sake, say 2 years. You've got 2 years to comply to this level of manufacture. There was people that instantly, there and then, bam, dropped straight out the industry. Pretty much as what happened when TPD come in.
Yeah.
There was people that just says, fuck it, I'm done. I've had the good days, I'm out of here. There was other people that still had a really, really good business model and they could afford to manufacture to that level. But then what the 6 done says, Tom, your business is worth £20 million, $20 million. We'll buy it off you for 40 million. And you go, you fucking damn right you will, mate. Write me a check. I'm out of here. And they come to me and go, actually, Paul, your business is shit. So we're not even going to buy you. You just make sure you can regulate by the set date or you're out of here. Now, obviously, I couldn't afford to do it, so my business goes by the wayside. Within 5 years, mate, it went from 6 big players to 4 big players because 2 of the other big players bought the 2 of the other big players. Now there's 3. And all they've done is constantly push the boundary for tobacco manufacturing and scaremongering within government, who take their reports extremely seriously because some of these reports are costing $10 billion to put together. The government will never, ever ignore it. And when someone's going to the government saying, look, you know that the products that we make are carcinogenic, you know that they're killing people, however, we've agreed to give you this much money. This is now our new way of manufacturing to try and make it as clean as possible. It keeps them all them steps ahead of anyone ever joining in that fucking game anymore.
Yeah.
Because they'll never amass enough money to even get the ball rolling to compete with them.
Yeah, monopolising, sort of basically monopolising it, really, yeah.
For the last 12 months, bar fucking 34 days, we had to be TPD compliant, which meant the liquid had to be made in an ISO clean room. Didn't have to be in any lab of any. I don't believe it had to be in a lab, did it?
I still don't believe it has to be in a certain.
That's what I'm saying, but I mean, there was obviously this scaremongering then about, oh, you've got to have a fucking was it 7 or something?
7. The lowest. I think the lowest it goes like ISO 7. Yeah.
But actually, you've just got to have a clean room. Now, what all of them Big Pharma, Big Tobacco done was says, you know what, we're going to go for ISO 4, ISO 3, ISO 2 labs. And TPD allows plus or minus whatever the plus or minuses are on percentage mixes. So your nicotine might be not an 18, but it might be an 18.9, or it might be a 19.1, or whatever that percentage plus or minus is allowed. What Big Tobacco done right from the get-go was says, well, we're not going to go for that plus or minus. We're going to go 25 times better than that. So our 18 will only ever be at worst case scenario 17.92 or whatever it is, and at the highest case scenario 18.1 or 18.2. Now they've done that for a reason, in my opinion, and that is at some point in the near future, they will go to the government and say, this is what your regulation says. This is what we believe to be the case, and this is how we've been manufacturing for the last amount of X years. We believe that's what every liquid manufacturer in the UK should be doing, to sell product in the UK.
Yeah.
And the government are going to go, oh, fucking hell, we can't even ignore this because we already done this once with cigarettes. And then they'll say, okay, yeah, everyone needs an ISO 2 lab by fucking May 2022. And you're going to have some people that say, yeah, fucking sound, I've got deep pockets, I'm going to put myself an ISO 2 lab in. And you've got other people that say, I ain't got the dough to do that. Because these labs get exponentially more expensive the lower you go.
Damn right.
One. Like, you're talking the difference of 60 grand to fucking several £1 million of plant. So when that happens, they will come to me and say, what quick kit have you got, Paul? Well, I'm in an ISO 4 already, mate. I've only got to do this, this, and this. I'm ISO 2'd up then. And I'm running with my business. Your business is worth 10 million quid. We'll give you 20. And I'll say, you can suck my balls and I'll take your money, mate. I'm out of here. Thanks very much for your offer. Give me your check. I'm on my way. I'll go down the road to the next person and say, how are you making your liquid? Fucking in my bathtub. Well, you can fucking go fuck yourself, mate. We're not interested in you. But you do understand that, because then it's in their interest then to start monopolising and capturing and running and maintaining and managing the way that this market goes. And my biggest concern personally is that once they've got full control of it, they will do their damnedest to fucking feather it out and go back to cigarettes, because it's still worth billions of dollars a year more than vaping, both to tobacco and to pharma. Two hand in glove are worth hundreds of billions of dollars a year. Vaping on its own reduces farmers' intake and it reduces big tobacco's intake dramatically.
Yep.
So if you've got X 100,000 people vaping, the revenue off that is nowhere near X 100,000 people smoking. So it's not in their interest to grow this industry unless it becomes more high cost based, and your pods are pretty much the same price as a packet of cigarettes, and they're taxed in the same way. So the government's getting their nice fat slice, but they start to promote healthiness over value.
Well, I spoke to the ICAS lady today, and she said they have to be behind cabinets like traditional tobacco because they are tobacco. That she said they're called heat. They're called the ICAS ones, and they are still cigarettes. So they have to be presented behind cabinets exactly the same as cigs. So you're gonna end up having, if that's the way, you're gonna have just cigarettes next to these because they're both behind the fucking same cabinet.
The reality is, Tom, right, is that there's people out there that smoke that will never, ever, ever vape. They'll never even try to vape because they're not interested. They know that the smoke potentially will kill them with cancer because they see it on the box every morning when they take the first cigarette out of the box. And they don't give a fuck. And there's also people that at this minute in time don't vape or don't smoke because of their age, but will still not vape and will smoke right from the get-go, and they'll never vape. On that basis, if Big Tobacco can start to branch into the vaping industry with the likes of the ICAS to promote a safer way of smoking a cigarette, they will sell millions and millions of pounds worth of that product. And no disrespect to Stu, but him smashing it up with a hammer and people slating it and people saying fuck it and they shouldn't be at Vape Expo and all of this malarkey is not going to make one iota difference to their business model. Do I think they should be at Vape Expo? Absolutely not, because it's not a vaping product. It is a tobacco product.
Yeah.
Do I think that vaping should come under TPD and TRPR because it's got nicotine in? Absolutely not. Because it's not got fucking tobacco in it. It's a tobacco product directive. It's not a nicotine product directive. Tobacco product directive. That's what it's about.
Should have its own set of fucking regs. Is what it should have.
A set of regs that regulate nicotine cessation devices. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. Now I put a post saying, why is everyone giving IQOS the biggest advertising campaign of their life?
Have you seen the post earlier today on Facebook about a Chinese company actually releasing the same similar device to IQOS? So that there's a Chinese manufacturer actually jumped on the heat, not burn sensation already. So there's already Chinese manufacturers out there in China already working on similar devices to be sold in the UK market.
And that's when it's dangerous, because they will also create this fucking cancer sticks to go into them that has got all sorts of shit in it because they're not regulated coming out of China.
Yep.
And that's where my concern lies. Is it just a device that, if it's a device that takes IQOS's sticks, then in my opinion, fair play to them. If they start producing the tobacco product that goes into that device, that's when it's just like completely raving, because China will not give a flying fuck what's in their tobacco products. But again, the reality is, what are you looking at for? Huh?
Some breaking news for you.
What is it?
Dal Winton's dead.
The gay bloke?
Yeah.
All right, I've got some breaking news for you as well.
I've got some breaking news. Dal Winston's dead.
Fucking hell. In a swimming pool by any chance? I've got some breaking news.
What's that?
I'll be going to Abby's work after the live feed because somebody's just punched her in the face, so she's pressing charges.
Honestly?
Yeah, I've just had a text message about 20 minutes ago.
What the fuck are you still doing sat on here, you mad guy?
Because fuck all I can do apart from punch someone else in the fucking face.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she said she's fine. Somebody came into the store, a thief came into the store and put a knife to her and another lad and then punched her in the face.
Trying to rob it?
Trying to rob the store?
Trying to feed money or try to feed something out of the shop. I don't know. I ain't got the full story. All I got was I've just been punched in the face. The police are here. I'm pressing charges. Okay. So hopefully she fucking stabbed him back. But no, going back to this Philip Morris thing.
Banter made a point on my post quickly about the IQOS that I was saying, I mean, my post pretty much said everyone's up in arms about IQOS. There's some big liquid brands out there, mate, that are fully backed by pharma and tobacco. Already? People are loving, and they hand check it daily because they ain't got a fucking clue who's behind it. Now, I haven't got an issue with that, if I'm being honest. I haven't got an issue with Philip Morris joining the vaping industry. I've got an issue generally that big tobacco have got enough financial clout to ultimately destroy the industry and manage it in the way they want it managed and control it in the way they want it controlled. But if there's rumour that Dinner Lady have sold out to big tobacco for big money, and if they have fair play
to Asda, aren't there? People are up in arms about I'm going to fucking Asda.
I do not get it all, Tom. I genuinely don't. If big tobacco have bought Dinner Lady for X £1 million, and I imagine it would have sold for many millions of pounds, that business. I
don't think they've sold, Paul. I think they've done it themselves.
No, they might not have sold, but I mean, there was rumours saying, oh yeah, big tobacco have bought it and they've sold out to big tobacco. They're fucking sellouts. Let me I'll make no bones about this, right? If Philip Morris wants to buy my company tomorrow and he's got a cheque for £5 million, write it me and you can fucking have the lot and I'm done. Because I started this for a reason. And I'll end it for the same reason. Now, that does not mean that the day after I've sold the business, my passion for vaping's dead. I started this out of a passion of doing something and to better us as a family. And I believe we've done that fucking fantastically well in 6 years. But if there was a get out for me tomorrow that meant financially me and Tash and our kids were secure, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Fucking anybody with the right fucking mind would do it.
I'm on my live feed smoking fucking 60 fags saying, fuck you all, I'm a multi-millionaire. Because that isn't my ethos. That's not what I'm about. And if whoever, I mean, I personally believe that the likes, and I'm not saying dinner lady because I don't know. But when you look at some of these brands that hit the floor or seem to hit the floor running, you've got to assume they're backed by some big, big, big money because millions of pounds has been spent on marketing. Now, I know people that have turned over several £1 million in the last few years on liquid that still haven't got millions of pounds in the bank to throw at a marketing campaign. These people hit the floor with multi-million pound marketing campaigns. You have to assume some big, deep pockets are behind them brands.
Yep.
And if they're backed by big tobacco or big pharma, and there's another one that I believe in, and I was sort of, I'm pretty sure he's backed by big pharma and was right from the get-go. If it's such an issue, why the fuck aren't they saying? Because quite honestly, Tom, if fucking Philip Morris emailed me tomorrow and said, "Listen, Paul, I really like this AF brand. I think we could take this worldwide and it'll make you fucking £25 million in 12 months." I'd have no qualms about putting a status up saying, "Philip Morris has bought into our brand. And this is what we're going to do with it. And this is how it's going to be. And this is why I've done it." Because I've got no qualms about doing that, because I've done it for a reason. And that is to amass a huge amount of money. Now, if he decided then to say, "Right, fuck you and your vaping," I wouldn't then try and back him up and say, "Well, nah, man, he's done me a good turn." I'd say he's a cunt. Same way, it doesn't matter what he's done for me personally as far as money's concerned. But I would genuinely have no qualms about saying, Philip Morris has bought 80% of my business for fucking X £1 million, and that 20% retainer that I've got enables me to still manage and run the business the way that I want it running. I know at some point in the future I'm not going to own none of my own business. I won't give a shit financially. And if it started becoming something that I wasn't prepared to put my name to, I'd go just as public saying, actually, he owns the company and he's turned into an absolute prick. I don't suggest you even use that brand anymore. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't switch the way that my thoughts are just because I've jumped into bed with someone that's put fucking X £1 million in my bank. And that's why I don't understand why these companies that are funded by pharma or tobacco aren't saying this is where the funding's coming from. But there's people out there, mate, hand-checking liquid that big fucking tobacco own the company, saying, "Fuck big tobacco and ICOS." Now, I put that on my status, and to be fair, James's point that he made was true, and he says, I haven't particularly got an issue with them joining the vaping scene and investing into vaping technology and investing into liquid. I've got an issue with the ICOS being put into a vaping category.
Yeah, got to be in line with what we're doing. If
it's not classed as combustion, then it must be vaping. But the reality is it's still heating tobacco. It's not
vaping. Smoke you are blowing out regardless of what you fucking feel it is. It's still...
And I absolutely agree with that, with what James said on that, is that if they're going to do the ICOS, brand it directly against cigarettes and say, value for money wise, you're not going to be any better off using an ICOS. However, this is the actual physical scientific reports to say if you smoke a cigarette directly, that is the long-term effects. If you smoke an ICOS at the same amount of pods per day to cover 20, 40, 60 cigarettes, this is the long-term effects. Therefore, over 20 years, you're going to spend the same amount of money, but they are healthier for this reason. That should be how they market that device, in my opinion. Not saying, "Oh, this is my new ICOS, 95% safer than cigarettes because it's fell into a vaping category somehow." That's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. That's what I don't agree with. But I don't disagree with big tobacco coming in and doing what it's doing, mate. I really don't. It's going to happen. And actually, I think the more we embrace it, the more we've got a chance of having a business the arse end of it. The more we try and sort of stifle them, the more they'll end up saying, "Fuck you, mate. We're running with this."
Yeah, they sort of need to be in line with what we're already fucking doing, sort of thing. Definitely, you know, it's inevitable that they're gonna try and get into this industry because it is becoming a very big industry, and they have that sort of money to invest in this industry and make it what it is. But if they're not standing in line with us and working with us, you know, we all appreciate business is business at the end of the day. We get that. I get that 100% myself, you know, but if you're coming in and you're allowed to be branded as a vaping product when you damn well know you're not, and you're okay with fucking doing that, then to me you're not standing in line with the vapors. You're not saying, well, this is why we're doing it, this is how we're doing it, this is the science behind it, this is, you know, everything about our brand and the reason we're doing it and investing all this money. Philip Morris come out tomorrow and go in fucking Sun Paper and go, well, I've released this product, it's going in vaping market. I know damn well that we're going to be moving all our traditional tobacco cigarettes over to this, and this is the future, this is what we want to do. And I'd fucking respect him a lot more for it, but he's not. He's trying to jump on a vaping bandwagon, invest all these fucking millions, and in the long run, he wants the full power. But people are sat there, and especially us fucking people who know about vaping, are going, well, that's not a vaping product. What are you doing?
I mean, I don't think Oikos should be allowed to vend at the Vape Expo.
But that's down to the fucking people, and we know them people. And, you know, to me personally, they probably vend at fucking, it's a trade show to them. It's nothing, it's pennies, it's not any sort of marketing advertisement for them. Whether we all stood around their fucking booth and went, yo, cunt, you shouldn't be here, you shouldn't be here. First thing they're going to do is somebody who's blogging is going to go, picture, video, that's going to be all over social media. Alt vapors were saying, fuck Icos, this, that, the other. They are still getting that marketing that they desire.
I've seen people taking pictures of Oikos at Jam, posting it on Facebook saying, fuck Oikos.
Not going up to them and going, why the fuck are you here?
That, man. Then there's other people saying, I wonder what this Oikos is. Go onto Google. Oh, Oikos. Oh, it uses a cigarette. My mum's tried vaping 10 times and she can't get on with it. I wonder if she'll get on with one of them. It's like smoking a fag. Bam, Oikos have got a sale.
Yep.
Margaret starts using one, and then fucking Mary gets one, and fucking Mabel and Bob get one down the bingo because they're actually much nicer than a cigarette. My house don't stink, and it's this and it's that and the other, and it's all backhanded advertisement in some way, shape, or form.
I would rather somebody go up and actually ask them questions and not necessarily debate, but get the information from what they know about this product. Yes, it's going to be full of
the Mehmet from Vaporium Cafe that we went to on the tour, and Tash and I bumped into Mehmet at the expo at Jam, just right by the Oikos stand actually. But all of the lads that were on the stand, to be fair, mate, were vaping as well.
And that was blue.
Oh, was it blue?
It was blue because obviously it was in there trying to sell that, and that comes fucking blowing cloud.
Yeah, look, they've got obviously selling these mouth-to-lung pods, the blue pods. But actually, half the lads on there were fucking mecking and sub-ohming and doing and whatever. And Tash was going, as if they're trying to sort of market that mouth-to-lung device. And they're all on there mech modding. But actually, when Mehmet spoke to me, and he says, I've spoke to him, and he said, you know what, Paul, actually, they're clued up about what they're selling. They know what it is, they're vapors, they know what they're doing. And from that point of view, I ain't got an issue. And they're doing what they do. And look how many people bought them blue kits for £1, mate.
They made millions off vapors buying that shit.
For £1.
Everyone saw that quid sign and thought, fuck it. I'm going to think it's a £50 ball and buy one. Yep. And that's exactly what all of it were vapors that were buying that product and putting that all over social media. It were vapors.
Exactly, that's my point. And half of them are the people that are saying, fuck big tobacco, buy a blue for £1, buy some pods off blue. You can get them down Asda. So now they've bought the blue for £1. They get the pods at Asda. I'm older there. They go, fuck me, if Asda sold in a lady, I'll give fucking 3 bottles of that, mate. They've just forced X amount of vapors to go and shop at Asda to get their fucking blue pods. Because we don't stock blue pods in our shop. And I don't not stock them because it's big tobacco. I just think there's better pod systems out there, if I'm being honest.
And you wouldn't sell something that a supermarket would sell because they're literally taking the fucking. That's what they're doing. That is what they're going to enforce when people go in and go, well, I'll try vaping today, you know, because you can buy fucking Vape in there, you can buy blue in there, you can buy fucking all sorts of shit in.
Vape and blue, both big tobacco.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But the actual general Joe smoker who actually wants to know a little bit about vaping, he's necessarily not going to go into a vape shop because he's got his access in Asda, he's got his access in Morrison's.
And that's why they will be successful selling that stuff.
But they don't have a clue what the fuck they're selling, but they're selling it.
Yeah, but do they need to have a clue, Tom? Again, if I'm being absolutely honest, we sell online from Shady Vaping. I haven't got a fucking clue who's buying that gear off me, mate.
Yeah.
And on the same basis, if someone walks into Asda and says, the first time I bought an electric cigarette was a vape stick pen from Costco, which is a wholesaler but everything that you could fucking imagine that you want in your house. And I bought it from there with no instructions, no knowledge. I did not know until I got home and put the battery on it and put my pod on there that when I took a drag on this thing, it exhaled something that looked like smoke. I didn't know he'd done that. I actually thought it was like one of them. You used to be able to buy nicotine cartridge systems back in the day, and it was like a plastic fag.
Yeah.
And you literally inhaled nicotine, and there was nothing on the exhale. People used to buy them to go on planes because I can't manage fucking 4 hours without me cigarette. It's a fuck.
What are them like white oval things?
They were just fucking. They look like a fucking. Look like something you'd use on a smear test. You know what I mean? But actually, I tried it, and I was a bit like, you don't even feel like I might as well literally have a McDonald's straw with some tissue shoved down it to give it some restriction. It's not doing nothing for me. The thing with the vape stick pen was, I got it home and I set it up in the kitchen. Literally, I remember being in there. I was sat there smoking a fag, setting up my fucking vape stick, and then coughed me guts up on the vape stick because obviously it's changing. Your throat has to adjust. But I fucking blew out, and I was like, no way. And Tasha was like, did that just fucking come out of that? And I was like, have a go. And then she's like, fucking hell. I literally sat in the living room, mate, just like, fucking absolutely blew my mind because I didn't know what I was expecting. And actually, I know if I'd have started off on the C4, I'd have probably failed and not gone back to it. Because the pod system for me then was absolutely brilliant because I was spending a fortune on cigarettes. I was saving a fortune on the vape stick, even though by comparison to vaping now, it was expensive still, but it was still nowhere near as expensive as 60 fags a day. But it stopped working, and I fucked my pod out the window, and I stuck another pod on the top, another tip on the top. I was back on. My battery went flat, and I bought their fucking cigarette-shaped box that was a power bank, and it held 2 spare batteries, it held 4 pods, and it had a charging station in it. So I'd got 1 on charge, 2 that were charged, 1 on me fag, fucking swapping things all day, just fucking setting me off, he's vaping me head off like a lord, thinking I was the boss. But it was clean, it was easy, it was simple to use, and that's why I do believe that pod systems still will be massive.
Yeah,
because
it is down to the basics. It is very simple, isn't it?
You know what? It's clean, it's easy, and even now we stopped the bow. I used the bow for a long, long time, and actually the only reason why I don't use my bow now is I ain't got a fucking clue where it is. And I used to refill my pods, to be honest. I didn't buy the bow pods. I used to just vape what was in them. Stick whatever liquid I wanted.
I remember you getting the bow in the shop when you first got it, and you absolutely loved it. And you just said, yeah, and I think that's what the first thing you said to me was, it's just easy, simple, basic.
But actually, we didn't sell them very well, and I believe that we, as a business, didn't sell them very well to the user. And I think because we'd gone through that journey of starting off on, is that Abba?
Yeah, don't worry. Give me 5 minutes. On the way home.
We will get off in 2 minutes, mate, and then you can sort your shit out.
No worries.
If you look at a bow system, it looks quite expensive compared to buying 10ml bottles and an Aspire BVC coil for your C5 Aspire on your Ego battery. However, for someone coming into there saying, I'd really like to get off the cigarettes, a bow or something along them lines is perfect. But we struggled to sell them because we felt they were expensive for what they are. So you're not even really pushing them. But the reality is, if we use the same techniques we used 5 years ago to sell a vape pen, bearing in mind we were selling Ego pens for fucking 35 quid, then on that basis, it's more about starting off straight away with saying, look, this is a brilliant way to start. There is cheaper ways of doing it, but with this, it's clean, it's easy. You run out of liquid, you snap on a new pod. You run out of charge, you stick it in your power bank. It's nice and easy. Get your head around using one. Get your head around not using cigarettes. Give that 4 or 5 weeks. By that time, you'll have saved enough money. Come back in and we can sort you out with an AO box or a fucking T18 or a T.
And you're still saving money.
Yeah, and actually sell it on the fact that it's still so much cheaper than cigarettes, but it's a very easy maintenance, easy to use, clean system to start vaping with. And I believe that they are, and I believe that the better batteries get, the better the pod system will become. And quite honestly, mate, I don't understand why there's no pod systems that are that big.
So it'd work perfect as well. because it's got a bigger barn battery. It lasts longer.
We've gone for small, indiscreet pods. I'd use a pod system that size because I use that because it's quite convenient. It vapes exceptionally well for me, but it's easy to fill up, easy to change my coil. Still not as easy as pulling that out and snapping a new pod in and cracking on.
Yeah.
And I'd use one. And actually, I really like the idea of the Me, but I don't like the idea of 950 mAh.
Fuck that.
I've got a drawer full of different mouth-to-lung vapes upstairs, and every time we've gone to an expo, if there's any sort of mouth-to-lung device, I buy it because I'm always trying to find that perfect thing for me. And quite honestly, I haven't come across it since I've been using this. There's been other things I've used, but most of them are too airy for my type. Most of them haven't got any airflow control on them, which I don't understand.
Yeah, that is a big sort of bust out for a lot of people, being stuff being too airy or being too tight. I think we're at the stage of technology where airflow is definitely a fucking must. You know, because it is, even though it is a mouth to lung device, it still needs to be changed to the user's fucking device.
Yeah, absolutely.
How they want to be using it.
Definitely. Right, Tom, fuck off and sort your missus out.
I will do it. Right. Thank you ever so much, guys, for joining in. It's been a really fun show this week. I've actually really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to do more of it sitting on the fucking couch because I've actually been really chilled, really like more chilled out. So thank you, guys. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We will be doing a lot more videos coming up because I've got stuff to do with the Emperor. I've got stuff to do with the AF. So there's a lot of stuff going to be uploaded to the channel. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you press the bell icon wherever the fuck it is. You'll get a notification every time we go live, every time we do put up a video. Any information that we put up on the YouTube, you get a notification for. So press that as well. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
See you later.